What's going on, football fans? What a game for the Eagles. And what a comeback win. I mean, who else was ready to pull their hair out in the halftime and completely give up on that game? Let's just say Kevin Patullo brought his low game combined with the fact that Lane Johnson went out, and we all were thinking, the Eagles usually are terrible when Lane Johnson's out, and that was the case as well here in the first half and the start of the second before Matt Pryor was benched for Fred Johnson. I personally was calling for Fred Johnson throughout the game, because if you saw Fred Johnson video that I made when they traded for him here, you saw that he was the starting right tackle in the preseason game for the Jaguars at right tackle, and then they moved him over to left later in the game. He's a versatile guy. Fred Johnson comes in and completely flips the script for the Eagles offensive line. You look night and day going against Byron Young and Jared Verse than from what Matt Pryor did. Let's get right to the tape and see how Fred Johnson saved the Eagles a win here, a comeback win possibility against the Rams. Right off the bat, very first drive where Fred Johnson is in, lined up right here, you just see the explosiveness and the athleticism just so superior to Matt Pryor. The kick steps here against number 10, don't even know who it is night and day from what we saw from Matt Pryor, and really resembles what you see from Lane Johnson more so. So here, lined up in that wide 9, he's going to threaten deep. So want to take a lot of get some good depth here immediately. Flip hips at the exact right time. Don't leave the inside vulnerable or susceptible to any inside moves. Give Jalen Hurts plenty of time and really confidence in the pocket. Nothing really threatening him. Good rep right off. The very next snap that is a touchdown for Dallas Goedert. We're gonna have some motioning here, or some motion going on. Good job from Fred from adjusting on the fly. When things becomes a little bit of a clusterfuck here, the defensive tackle in the three tech is going to fall down, and he gets a couple of hands on him to make sure that he's not just going to trip over him and get pushed into Jalen Hurts. Fine rep. Night and freaking day in taking on Jared Verse and the power that he brings. He's a power rusher. He wants you to get out of bounds. He wants you to get off your feet, and then he can pull some move after that. Not a technician, not a finesse pass rusher whatsoever. Lined up right here again in the 7 technique. Has plenty of space to get up to speed when he's going for his power move. WWE wrestle type stuff here from Fred Johnson, and it all succeeds on foot placement right there in his anchor, because he doesn't get the best start. You see his pass steps right here. He's in a little bit of an awkward angle right there with his front foot as he's taking on the block. Hat placement is a little high compared to Jared Verse, but that flip of the hips right there, that wrestle flip, power in the hips, awesome rep against Byron Young out here. Lined him in that 7 technique, so you have the 5 right outside of the tackle. Imagine you had a tight end here, you had the 7. Imagine you had another tight end here, you had the wide 9 all the way out there. So a little bit of a 7 technique right here. It does give Byron some opportunity to get some speed when he's going for the bull rush right here, as you would in the wide 9. And a terrific job of Fred Johnson right here. First of setting up in a really good position right here, and has his feet placed under him as he's taking on the bull rush. Hat placement is fine on the engage. Good hand placement, and then settles the anchor right there. Terrific pocket for Jalen Hurts to scan what's going on around him. Looks explosive in his pass steps. Good pocket right there. And then the run game, really good job here. A first seal blocking inside there on Byron Young. Give him a good quick pop, and then move out in space along with Saquon Barkley to fill it out here. Now, they don't get too much out of it. Like, it could have been a lot better, and certainly some adjustable things here. Devontae Smith make that block, Fred make that block, and then it's a touchdown. But just the mere presence of him out there is intimidating for the defenders, and does for sure gain some extra yards for Saquon Barkley. Just a quick reminder, if you want to support the channel, it is possible to do so. Go to Buy Me a Coffee, Breaking the Birth. I'll put a link in the description. Let's get back to Fred. Good punch and power here on Byron Young on a simple zone block. Gets him off his feet. Boom. awesome power right here. Once again, we saw him hip toss Byron Young on another, Jared Verse on another rep. This one here, we see him against Byron Young out there instead. Once we see that power in the QB zone here, a QB read. So just simple zone block here to the outside. Zone block here, read. Jalen Hurts keeps it. Nice punch. You see that hip moving forward. If you're able to generate power off of that, you're in a good spot. Nice rep once again here against Byron Young. This time we see that lateral set where instead of going deep here, you're engaging on the defensive end instead. So instead of just going vertical here, he's expecting him much more. And this is important because Fred Johnson was susceptible to this last year, but also with the Jaguars in the preseason, where he oversets it right here. He doesn't have his feet placed against power rushes. And he does a really good job of it right here of setting himself up in a good position where he's not vulnerable to the inside move as much. He has both his feet planted, so if he was to go inside, he can shove him. Okay, here he loses the hand fight, but it has good footwork. So you see him winning this time here, where Byron Young actually smashes his hands away, so he gets right into his chest. Good position to where he can actually generate more power into him. But because Fred has a good step back here in his pass sets, so to the point where he's taking him on right there, plant one foot, plant the other, and then he's able to anchor afterwards. Once again in the running game here, inside seal off the edge, Tyler Steen down blocking on that side. You got the double team, Tyler Steen moving up, Fred Johnson sealing off the inside right here. Nice blocking scheme. Springs Saquon Barkley free where he doesn't have to do much and just hit the hole. A little bit easier rep right here against Byron Young, who's lined up much more close to the line and doesn't have the speed when he tries to bull rush here. And Fred just he smothers him, but it's an easier rep. Fine rep here against, I believe it's Braden Fisk. I'm not quite sure actually. We're going to have Byron Young dropping into coverage, and then defensive tackle is going to go outside here. Has him in full control here, working him down the line. He wants to go upfield. Nikki says hi. Does give up a little bit of pressure right here once again on that stunt we got here from the right side, where he's not really picking up the inside guy too much. Not great job here, but it's both coordinated between Tyler Steen and Fred Johnson, where he gets surprised that he's passing, that the defensive tag is getting passed off to him, and he gets drived a little bit back. Pitch to the outside where you'd like him to get a little bit more upfield, but he does get slowed down here by the block right there and Byron Young on the receiver. So he gets back behind here and has to compensate for that afterwards. You'd like him to go right up there, hit that hole, so Saquon Barkley can follow him. But I mean, right off the bench, there's going to be finesse things that is cleared up. And finally, game-winning touchdown. He's up against Byron Young. I just want to show this one again here because that vertical technique when he's setting, when threatening upfield here, he's taking relevant pass steps. And then what I want you to focus on here is that the moment that he flips his hips at the time where Byron Young tries to Euro step him. So here, because when Byron Young is Euro stepping here and he's getting his feet up in the air, he's no longer a threat to go inside. And Fred knows that, and he can flip his hips with that and then drive him upfield. Focusing on that because, again, it's one of the things that I've been keying on with Fred Johnson before in things that he needed to work on. It sure looks like he's done so.